That's it. Parshas Vayeshev. Yaakov sends Yosef to Shechem to go ahead and to see how his brothers are doing. Yosef knows that his brothers hate him. Yaakov sent him. Some say Yaakov sent him because maybe he wanted to show them that he's humbling Yosef to them, to look and send him just to see how they're doing. Yosef goes there and goes looking for his brothers, and his brothers find him, and they go ahead and they work together and plot to kill him. Finally, they don't kill him, they sell him. But there's a whole story in between. And the truth is, for years, I've been bothered. What does the Torah tell us that whole story for? It says that Yosef comes to Shechem, and he doesn't find his brothers there. The brothers aren't there. And a man finds him. Because I'll say, it was a malach who finds Yosef. And Yosef says, I'm looking for my brothers. And he says, they went to Dosan. And then he goes to Dosan, right? And they plot against him and sell him. What do you need that whole story for? What's the purpose? What is the Torah teaching me? That he didn't know that they didn't find them, and who cares? Some Sofer says an interesting dvar. Some Sofer says that why did the brothers move away? They told Yaakov, we're going to take care of the herd in Shechem. So why did they go away from Shechem? Says some Sofer that the brothers were nervous. If Yosef comes to look for us, maybe Dad's going to send Yosef to look and find out how we're doing. We're going to do something to him. They didn't trust themselves. They were nervous that they're going to do something to Yosef. And therefore they went away. You shouldn't find us. But when they saw that Yosef came, they said, what's this? How could there be such a thing? How could Yosef find us? Must be a simon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying that we've got to take care of this guy. First of all, it occurred to me that perhaps the amkus of this is that there's a big question. Shluchei mitzvah einan nizokin. People who are sent to do a mitzvah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says they're not going to get hurt. How could Yosef fall into such a disastrous state? If he was doing what his father sent him to do, he's doing a mitzvah. So perhaps the Torah is saying his mitzvah is over. His father sent him to Shechem. When he came to Shechem and his brothers weren't there, he should have gone back home and said, Abba, I did your will. I came to Shechem, they're not there. Okay. But he was Toeh Basadeh. He did his mitzvah, and now he was doing it for himself. Oh, he's no longer a shliach mitzvah. His shlichus for mitzvah is over. That's what the Torah is telling us. That his shlichus for the mitzvah is over, and that's why he's no longer protected. That's Nekudah number one. Nekudah number two, it's teaching us a very important lesson in life. Here they see, Yosef comes. It's a simon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has put him into our hands. You know, simanim are very tricky. For years, it seemed to me very confusing and disturbing. When Yosef meets his father, when Yosef reveals himself to his brothers, he says, you didn't do anything to me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me in front of you that I should provide for you. Ki lemichya shlachani Hashem. And it bothered me so much. Lemichya. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Yosef to start Galus Mitzrayim. 190 dark years. 210 dark years. Redu. 210 dark years. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Yosef for the good of Klal Yisrael. Chazal say Yaakov could have been brought down b'shashlo of iron, of barzel. He could have brought down in chains of iron. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought him with the chains of love to go to Yosef. But that was the beginning of Galus. It wasn't a good thing. But maybe it was a good thing. Yosef did provide for them. How are you supposed to look at it? The answer is, life is confusing. We don't know. But we do know one thing. And this is something I mentioned in my kollel as a hesped from my mother, Zechron Lebracha, Areni Kaparas Mishkava. Last year that I traveled, every time I'd be in Baltimore, my mother would say to me, I want to speak to you. And we would sit down and she would say, a person doesn't live forever. What am I supposed to do now? What does Hashem want me to do now? I thought that was very deep. The person could stop and take hold of themselves and say, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from me now? That's what we're supposed to do. If the brothers wouldn't have said, oh, it's a simon min hashamayim, they put us into his hands and we can go ahead and do whatever we want him. If they would have stopped and said instead, what does Hashem want from us now? They might have come to a different conclusion. Don't use simanim min hashamayim. Signs from heaven are very confusing. We don't know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has in mind. Leave HaKadosh Baruch Hu to his own designs. I have to ask myself, what do I have to do? If we would ask ourselves that question honestly, there are a lot of things in the world that would come out much better. Think about it. Good Shabbos.